Frank, March the 14th in Manchester. At the moment, it's lining up to be one of the most exciting, I think, boxing bills of the year. 2 world title fights, 2 international titles as well, and a Commonwealth title on the card so far. But, I want to start with the Commonwealth title because Bradley Price and Matthew Hall, that's a real classic little boxing.
I think that's a cracking fight. Matthew's only lost 1 fight. He's a tremendous little fighter, 14 knockouts. We know what Bradley's like. He's had 27 wins. He's had 17 of those have been knockouts. And with Bradley, he comes to fight. So I think you've got the ingredients there of a real quality fight. And it's one of them where you're not going to be able to blink.
And in the list of the fights that we've got, he's the 4th down the list because we've got Enzo Maccarinelli topping the bill, Nikki Cook underneath him, first defence of his super featherweight title, and of course the M.E.N fight against Barrera. We're going to come on to that, but just we'll start again with Paul Smith. He's on a bit of a comeback trail after his last fight. He said he feels great, he's at home, he's settled, and he's going to go for a vacant WBA international super middleweight type for Paul. With Paul, how confident are you that he's back on this, on a good comeback trail?
Well, I think first of all, he's been fighting at middleweight, and we moved him up, and I think that will suit him because I think every time he's fought at middleweight, he's not fought on the limit. It's been over. Yeah. He's struggled. I think that super middleweight's going to suit him better, and once we get the opponent sorted out, which hopefully we'll get done this week, he's got something to train for and focus on, and he'll make his debut, as I say, at that weight.
Well, let's move on to Amir fighting Marco Antonio Barrera. Since you've announced the fight, what's it been like behind the scenes? What's the atmosphere been like?
Well, the buzz about the fight is fantastic. We've had great response to it. We sold over 15,000 tickets, and I expect us to be sold out very quickly.
It's just sold out. What is that going to be? What's the capacity at the M.E.N?
Well, the M.E.N just holds, it's just a couple of hundred under 20,000.
So not long now, people want to get tickets. You're looking at only just under 5,000 seats left.
Well, that's a fantastic fight. It's a fight that's grabbed everybody's imagination. Barrera is a legend, as we all know, 4-time, 4 different weight champions, 7 times. He's won the title, and I think it's a tremendous test for Amir. It's going to bring out. I hope it's going to bring out the best of him, and we will see what he's got. And you add to that the other 2 world title fights on there. We've got Nikki Cook. He's going to be defending his title against the #1 Roman Martinez, who's ranked highly by 3 governing bodies. #1 by the WBO, #2 by the WBC. I think it's #4 by the WBA. So quality fighter, Puerto Rican, never lost a fight, and again I think that Nikki, it's a fight that will bring out the best of Nikki Cook.
In your experience, what difference does it make to a boxer when they have their first defence of his title and it's not a voluntary, it's a mandatory?
Well, most guys are entitled to a mandatory defence, which means you pick somebody out of the top 10 or the top 15, depending on what the governing body is, a rated fighter. The WBO have ordered this fight because Nikki got taken down with flu before Christmas when he was going to have a mandatory. So now he's now got to fight the Puerto Rican. It's a tough fight for him, but I rate Nikki. I think he's a different fighter since he's gone up from gone up to super featherweight. I think that weight has made him a bit more comfortable, which is the same thing I hope is going to happen with Paul Smith. So with a bit of luck, he'll come through it and he can have a voluntary defence afterwards.
And topping the bill on March the 14th, Enzo Maccarinelli fighting Ramirez from Argentina. This is for we hope it's going to be for the vacant cruiserweight title. I know you still have to work on that.
Well, it will be for the vacant cruiserweight title. All we're working on at the moment is agreeing the terms. And hopefully I'm going to get that sorted out, I believe, today. Ramirez, he went to Germany his last fight, knocked out the big hope out there, the guy they thought was going to be the champion. Enzo's supposed to have been fighting Jonathan Banks. Jonathan Banks never sent the contract back. He pulled out the fight once. We've never had a doctor's note out of him, and suddenly he's gone off in a different direction to fight Thomas Adamic. I don't understand that, but I think deep down they just didn't fancy the job with Enzo. Otherwise they would have been here. So Enzo's got to have his hands full. This guy's tough. He's it's the first time he came out of Argentina, went to Germany, and stopped that guy. So. Enzo's got to be top of his form, and he's got to be really focused and can't afford to slip up.
In the cruiserweight division, there'll be very few champions who do fancy Enzo Maccarinelli, and Enzo's so keen on unifying that title. Really, sort of, it's the respect he wants now, I think, obviously, after David Haye fight. From your position, when you're dealing with all the different governing bodies, would you plan a line for a man to unify a title?
Well, what you do, once a guy's champion, you're negotiating with somebody else who holds another version of the title. You're not so much dealing with the governing bodies, it's dealing with the person who's got the title. And hopefully we can steer Enzo into unifying the titles. But before that, he's got to win it. And it is a tough fight for him. But he's got a lot to prove. He's got the bit between his teeth now. You know, I think his pride was hurt more than anything with the fight with David Haye. And when you think in the first round he came out, he caught David Haye with a tremendous shot, wobbled him, he cut David Haye, got cut over the eye. But he just seemed to lose his composure in the second round and froze a little bit and got paid the price. I believe in Enzo. I think he's a quality fighter. He's a puncher. He can box, and hopefully he'll win the title back and go on unifying the titles. And who knows, may even move up to heavyweight and fight David Haye.
Just finally, before we go, a word on the ticket prices, Frank, because I look here, they start as low as £40. I mean, for a card of this magnitude, that's a great price. Well, what was your thinking behind setting it?
You know, we're in a recession, and we appreciate it's difficult for people at the moment, and you know, it's difficult for everybody. So you've got to look at look at what you're selling, and it's got to reflect how the economy is. But one thing is good about it. You know, you see an M.E.N fighting Barrera and these other title fights on the bill, and it's in the UK. You're not got to go and pay for hotels. You haven't got to pay for flights to the States or wherever it may be. So at least we got the fights on in the UK.
Frank, thanks very much.
You're welcome.